Tensions escalate as Russia intensifies its attacks on Ukrainian cities, leading to significant casualties. Meanwhile, a bear attack in Japan raises concerns about wildlife encroachment. Here are today's top 10 stories you need to know. A new policy regarding immigration reform has been proposed in the United States, aimed at addressing long-standing challenges within the immigration system. Announced on June 2, 2026, the policy seeks to streamline the immigration process, making it more efficient and accessible for those seeking legal status. This initiative has garnered mixed reactions from various stakeholders, with advocates praising the efforts to provide a pathway for undocumented immigrants, while critics raise concerns about potential security risks. The administration is emphasizing the need for comprehensive reform to balance humanitarian concerns with national security. As the policy moves through the legislative process, debates are expected to intensify, with lawmakers from both parties weighing in on the implications of these changes. The outcome of this reform will have lasting effects on the immigration landscape in the United States. The coming months will be pivotal as discussions evolve and new proposals may emerge. Recent advancements in medical technology are paving the way for innovative treatments and improved patient outcomes. On June 2, 2026, several healthcare organizations announced breakthroughs in telemedicine, artificial intelligence, and personalized medicine. These developments are transforming how healthcare is delivered, making it more accessible and efficient. Telemedicine is enabling patients to connect with healthcare providers remotely, while AI is assisting in diagnostics and treatment planning. The focus on personalized medicine is allowing for tailored therapies based on individual genetic profiles. As these technologies continue to evolve, they hold the potential to revolutionize patient care and address pressing health issues. However, ethical considerations regarding data privacy and equitable access to these technologies must be addressed. The healthcare industry is at a critical juncture, with the promise of innovation set against the need for responsible implementation. The World Health Organization has reported new developments in the ongoing global health crisis, as countries continue to grapple with the impacts of various diseases. On June 2, 2026, several nations reported spikes in cases of infectious diseases, prompting calls for enhanced public health measures. Vaccination campaigns are being ramped up in areas experiencing outbreaks, with health officials emphasizing the importance of community participation in prevention efforts. The WHO is coordinating with governments to provide resources and support for healthcare systems under stress. As healthcare professionals work tirelessly to manage the situation, the challenges of misinformation and vaccine hesitancy remain prevalent. The international community is being urged to come together to address these issues and ensure equitable access to healthcare. The coming weeks will be critical in determining the trajectory of these health challenges. An international climate summit is set to take place later this month, gathering world leaders to discuss urgent actions to combat climate change. Scheduled for June 15, 2026, the summit aims to address rising global temperatures and their impacts on weather patterns, agriculture, and biodiversity. Recent studies indicate that climate-related disasters, including floods and droughts, have been increasing in frequency and severity, affecting millions worldwide. This summit represents a critical opportunity for nations to commit to more ambitious climate goals and collaborate on sustainable practices. Environmental activists are urging governments to take definitive action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and support vulnerable communities disproportionately affected by climate change. The outcomes of this summit will be pivotal in shaping international climate policy moving forward. With record temperatures and extreme weather events becoming the new norm, the urgency for decisive action has never been greater. Leaders must prioritize innovative solutions, ensuring a sustainable future for generations to come, starting with concrete commitments at this pivotal meeting. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine continues to exert significant pressure on global economic stability, with serious implications for energy prices and international supply chains. Since the war's outbreak, European nations have encountered soaring energy costs due to decreased supplies from Russia, a major energy provider. This disruption has led to widespread inflationary pressures, affecting consumers and businesses alike as they grapple with rising prices for essential goods and services. Economists are increasingly warning that a prolonged conflict could trigger recessions in several European countries, particularly those heavily reliant on Russian energy. In response, governments are scrambling to diversify their energy sources, aggressively seeking alternatives like renewables and imports from other nations to mitigate the war's impact. Meanwhile, global markets are reacting to the uncertainty, with notable fluctuations in stock prices and commodities. Looking ahead, strategic economic responses and international collaboration will be crucial in addressing these challenges as stakeholders anticipate further economic disruptions if the conflict persists. An earthquake measuring 6.4 on the Richter scale struck northern Japan on June 2, 2026, raising alarm among residents. The epicenter was located near Hokkaido, a region known for its seismic activity, prompting immediate alerts and evacuation procedures. Japan has a long history of earthquakes, with the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami serving as a stark reminder of the potential devastation. The country's advanced seismic warning systems activated swiftly, allowing many to take cover before the main shock. However, aftershocks have continued to rattle the area, adding to the uncertainty and fear among the local population. The quake has disrupted transportation networks and communication lines, complicating rescue efforts and hindering access to affected areas. As authorities assess the damage and potential injuries, the focus remains on providing urgent assistance to those impacted. This incident underscores Japan's ongoing vulnerability to seismic events, reigniting discussions about infrastructure resilience and disaster preparedness. Officials are expected to implement enhanced safety measures to mitigate future risks and ensure a more robust response. Severe weather conditions have led to a series of tornadoes across the central United States, causing widespread destruction and prompting emergency responses. On June 2, 2026, multiple tornadoes touched down in several states, including Kansas and Missouri, leaving a trail of damaged homes, uprooted trees, and significant power outages. Authorities have reported numerous injuries, although specific details are still emerging as rescue operations continue to search for those trapped. The National Weather Service issued timely warnings in advance, allowing some residents to take shelter before the storms hit. Meteorologists are analyzing the unusual weather patterns that contributed to this outbreak as climate change continues to influence the frequency and intensity of such extreme weather events. In the aftermath, affected communities are rallying to support one another, with local organizations mobilizing resources for recovery efforts. As the region begins to assess the extensive damage, officials are emphasizing the importance of preparedness and resilience in the face of increasingly severe weather conditions. Looking ahead, proactive measures and community engagement will be crucial in mitigating future disasters. In a significant development regarding international relations, negotiations over Iran's nuclear program have hit a roadblock. This setback comes amid heightened tensions following recent military conflicts in the region, particularly involving Iran's influence in neighboring countries. The Biden administration's efforts to revive the 2015 nuclear deal, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, have faced numerous challenges as Iran has ramped up its uranium enrichment activities to levels that exceed the limits set by the original agreement. Analysts suggest that the stalled talks could lead to a more unstable situation in the Middle East, with potential repercussions for global oil markets, which are already sensitive to geopolitical disruptions. The lack of a renewed agreement raises the risk of confrontation in the region, as both the United States and its allies reassess their strategies. The outcome of these negotiations will be critical not only for regional security, but also for international efforts to curb nuclear proliferation. As diplomatic channels remain open, the coming weeks will be pivotal in determining whether both sides can find common ground and avert a potential crisis. A bear attack in Fukushima, Japan, has left 4 people injured, underscoring the alarming rise in wildlife encounters within residential areas. This incident, which occurred on June 2, 2026, saw a bear wandering into a populated zone, igniting fears among local residents who are increasingly anxious about their safety. Reports indicate that the frequency of bear attacks has surged, with these animals encroaching on human habitats in search of food due to declining natural resources. Local authorities are now debating various measures to manage the bear population, including potential culling and improved waste management strategies to deter bears from urban environments. Wildlife experts emphasize that climate change and urban expansion are driving bears closer to human settlements, creating a precarious balance. The recent attack has elevated discussions about the necessity for enhanced management strategies and community awareness programs aimed at preventing future incidents. As Japan confronts this pressing issue, officials are urging citizens to remain vigilant and report any bear sightings immediately. The situation raises critical questions about human-wildlife coexistence, prompting a reevaluation of local government responsibilities in wildlife management. Moving forward, proactive community engagement will be essential in mitigating risks associated with these encounters. In a devastating escalation of the ongoing conflict, Russia has launched significant missile and drone attacks targeting major Ukrainian cities, including Kyiv, Dnipro, and Kharkiv. The assaults occurred early on June 2, 2026, leaving at least 11 people dead and more than 100 injured. These strikes follow a recent warning from the Kremlin about systematic retaliation for previous Ukrainian drone attacks that caused casualties in Russian-held regions. This marked a significant shift in Russia's military strategy, indicating a willingness to escalate violence dramatically. The situation in Kyiv is particularly dire, with reports of an apartment building engulfed in flames and widespread destruction throughout the capital. This surge in violence has raised alarms internationally, prompting urgent calls for a renewed focus on diplomatic resolutions. The humanitarian crisis deepens as many Ukrainians are left searching for shelter and safety amid the chaos. The international community is closely monitoring the situation, with discussions about potential sanctions and military support for Ukraine gaining momentum. Additionally, neighboring countries are bracing for an influx of refugees, further straining resources in the region. The coming days will be crucial as Ukrainian forces brace for further assaults, and the need for a robust international response becomes more pressing. Diplomatic efforts must intensify to prevent further escalation and promote lasting peace. Thank you for watching today's news roundup. Which story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.